Welcome back to another episode of
Gearhaus.
Gearhaus. Yes. Ni wiki ingine. We have a new guy in the studio. Eddie ameshinda akitengeneza hii studio tangu asubuhi tumemkuta tu huko.
But today we've had to bring extra lighting. Huyu jamani mweusi. Kuna nini leo bana? Normally have two.
Mungu anaona.
At least akuone pia. Alex Mwanzo himself. TurboDiesel. Unajua sasa shida though ya kuangia anonymous sana. Though kijana wake ndio anakaa kumliko.
Huyo the junior.
Ndiye influencer kumliko.
Yeah.
Welcome Alex.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Karibu kwenye podcast. Na before tuanze, mbona huyu jamaa kuna tissue na mimi sina tissue?
Kuna jamaa
Because anafaa kwa match. Bana.
Mbona huyo kuna tissue na mimi sina tissue?
Najua mimi natafuta mboka. Wewe msee ametoka mboka.
Oh, ni big lo wewe. Only big lo.
Anyway, yes. This will be coming out very soon. As we are doing the drive, zitakuwa available.
Oh, nice.
The Gearhaus drive. It will be out there.
Yeah,
I hope it's a drive, not a run.
It's a drive.
A drive.
Yeah.
It's not a...
Tutasema speed max 60.
No.
Kuna maneno ya kufinya.
Msipeleke Naivasha na muite drive pana.
So we go far. Tunde mbali.
What's the whole point of driving if you're going to drive for an hour?
How many kilometers?
What do you think is...
Minimum 500.
Higher,
But anyway.
I think you'll exceed your expectations.
We shall do better.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, it's been quite the week. Uko na news, as usual. News, leo, of course.
But this is random. Nothing new has happened this week that I've come across in the car market. But maybe I've not been checking too keenly. But I was looking at some statistics the other day. There's a guy on Instagram who does car industry analysis. So he does it for every country in the world. And he gave statistics for the best-selling brand new cars in Kenya in the year 2024.
Okay.
Guess which was the best-selling car?
Oh, by Chap.
Brand new.
Oh.
No, but Chap Sigari.
Oh.
Guess which was the best-selling car in Kenya in the year 2024?
If you ask me, I think it's an Isuzu, some kind of Isuzu. Which Isuzu?
A Ferrari. Mchanga.
I'm not sure. Mchanga inasonga hivyo, but ndogo inaitwa.
Let's talk about passenger cars.
Okay, passenger.
Because in his stats, I didn't see lorries, but passenger cars.
Pickups, passenger cars.
Yeah, they have.
And I would go with the Isuzu D-Max. To me, that would be the best selling.
Dimks.
Yeah, you guys are right. Actually, I wish you guys were wrong. But anyway.
No, those guys are pushing cars. Wow.
Yeah.
Those guys are pushing.
When you look at their ads sometimes, it's full of D-Maxes. And then like a few weeks later, you're like, there's no vehicle.
Yeah.
If you pass that place over GM,
Yeah.
like it's cars like this.
Yeah. I was actually very, very surprised to see the D-Max is the best-selling car in Kenya.
What would you have done previously?
Brand new car.
Yeah.
I think I'd have thought Prado or Hilux.
But most of the Prados on our roads are actually X. It's Japan.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
More than we Prados most of the
No,
time.
but I think if you think about it in terms of cars, like Gawas basically went into bed with Isuzu and a lot of administrative guys. And even the Nissan themselves, they have a lot of D-Maxes.
yeah.
Anyone in construction, your architects, they started ditching the Hilux
And
for the D-Max.
and this is no plug to them, but
No,
they actually
yeah,
offer
absolutely.
good value for
Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
Like when you
I
compare
think it's
with-
like 6 mic.
yeah, for the double
Yeah,
cabs.
The basic ones,
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it makes sense.
Plus that engine is
Be
proper,
selling.
to
I
be
think
honest.
maybe if you are to ask me the one that comes below it, I would go for actually the
Hilux.
No, the Tiguan.
Like in terms of sales.
Yes.
It's nowhere on this list.
Alas.
Yeah.
I think it will be the Hilux and then the highest.
Actually, but the list is for top 10. So
What's the
So
list?
it's somewhere.
What's the list?
What's
like
the
number 2, 3?
10?
number 10.
Yeah.
Just you should guess. It's an Indian car.
Mahindra.
Yeah.
The pickup.
Yeah, Mahindra Bolero.
The Bolero.
See,
Very
that's the 3 meter bed chassis one.
I think so.
Has to be that one. That's some
the
jungle
one that
bedroom
everyone
bar.
buys.
Yeah, that thing has a 3 meter bed.
The cheap pickup that does the job.
Yeah,
I think every Muindi
and then it's like
has one.
2M. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a
time I was telling you, we need to do an episode on Mahindra. Like, that's one car that I think...
So I know
Over the
someone
years-
who actually has it, right? So someone would buy the Mahindra over Hilux because over that 3-meter bed. That's like, your bedroom door plus another meter.
Yeah.
And if you look at most manufacturing, it's
So
more
if you
volumetric
Put
weight.
your bed in there.
Yes, it's more volumetric weight than actual weight. So if you're carrying toilet papers, if you're carrying bread, you need volume
That
against.
volume, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think even the carrying capacity is quite...
Yeah, it's
quite
proper. It's
something.
like 1.5 tons.
Yeah, and when I drove the Bolero, the double cab, I found it to be okay. I mean, it's still a pickup.
Yeah.
It behaves like a pickup. But like, I wouldn't think this is how it felt.
And a funny thing, there's another Mahindra on the list. So the Bolero is 10th.
The XUV.
No, the Scorpio.
Oh, yeah.
Is a
Oh,
Mahindra
yeah, the
Scorpio.
Scorpio is the SUV version.
The ugly pickup.
Okay, it's the better looking one. It looks better than the
Oh,
Bolero.
yeah, the Bolero is the extreme version.
Yeah, the one that's so basic. It's like bare bones.
Ikoka, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wrong.
So the Scorpio is 8th on the list. So there's a 9. So there's a 9.
Another Mahindra.
No. We're done with Mahindras.
Hey.
But Mahindras are a special surprise for me.
Yeah, they're in the top 10. Actually, I would not have thought about it.
Number 9 is the Forester.
DCI.
Of course, DCI.
So that's what I was talking about the Tiguans, because I was like, unless there's a lag on the list.
No, because after the...
No, but the Tiguan is more management DCI than DCI.
Than street.
Yeah. The Forester is
The
street
Forester
DCI.
is still a
yeah.
street one.
But yeah, because in 2024, according to the stats, Subaru sold 88 Foresters. But then Kenya is a very poor country.
To
Let's
be
start from
honest,
there.
and that's a shit number.
But then when we're talking about best-selling cars, we're not talking millions or hundreds of
It's
thousands.
like 130 cars.
300s, we're talking
No,
hundreds.
okay, probably the D-Max went to 500.
Actually, the only car that went over 1,000 units
Was the D-Max.
D-Max.
Okay, makes sense.
Like
The rest
what,
are below-
2,000 units.
No, 1,181.
Wow.
New
Even
cars
then,
sold
new
it.
cars.
Damn.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Yeah. So 7th,
The Hilux double cab.
close. Fortuna. Very surprising.
Oh,
Still Gava.
Again, Gava.
Still Gava.
Counties.
Still Gava. I think from 1 up to 7, it's just Gava.
In fact,
Maybe one you could be kinda,
But it's still Gava.
because construction.
Administration. If you strip out Gava from all this list, I think would have been no Mahindra.
In the number one, have they specified if it's the single cabs or the double cab?
for the D-Max, no. They just written...
Because I
Yeah.
presume it's more of single cabs and doubles. Because
I'm
the
like a
singles
D-Max as a name, so
Yes.
it cuts across.
Yeah.
Okay.
for
yeah, but truly, if you remove Gava from this list,
Yeah, it's-
I think you...
Yeah,
back
back in a Mahindra.
Yeah, and
Mahindra and your D-Max is Sasa.
yeah. Even D-Max is Gava, mostly.
No, the single.
The single cab ni watu wa hardware.
Yeah.
Watu wa
Now I
gazeti.
saw Gazeti. Yeah. So if Nation buys like 100 cars,
Na gazeti
wako
zinabaiwa
imeingia
siku
top
hizi.
7.
And I've never understood, why do they all buy D-Maxes?
First of all, the support. So basically, you can service your Suzuka across the country.
Yeah.
Like they have so many guys who are dealers.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. It breaks down somewhere in Moyale.
Also, they have a proper warranty.
Yeah, and the warranties are good. And the parts are not especially expensive. Toyos are expensive.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Where? People over here are like, oh, nitanunua. My friend, leave Toyotas alone. On genuine parts.
Yeah, and
that's the thing.
Mbarani keeps saying
Very
that.
expensive.
I when Toyota guys want to lay
Yeah.
up proper parts.
Yeah. Fake parts are cheap.
Yeah,
But
just
genuine parts.
Taiwan manenos, sawa.
Yeah.
Go
Make us
go and
spark plugs
maintain
za
your car,
Sosaba, za
right?
250.
Yeah.
Like you'll actually maintain your car with DT Dobby if you have a VW, and you'll be kind of okay. You'll maintain it with Subaru Kenya, you'll be kind of okay. Try maintaining it with Toyota Kenya.
Tusikie uzito.
Way.
Takapitia.
Yeah.
Anyway. Luckily, the car won't break down as much.
Of course.
So
there's that part.
Kwenda huko bana. Hebu tunakufikia. Unajua kwanza, this guy is saying, tunakufikia sahi.
Tutaongea kuhusu breaking down very soon.
You have a lot of explaining to do. Anyway, 6th, Prado. Fifth, so they put one lorry. It's Isuzu N series.
So that's the Super Metro.
That's the one I was telling you, not Mchanga. That one.
That's the Super Metro.
That's the one that sells.
Yeah, they're saying this. Isuzu sold 416 Isuzu N series.
Yeah, because the NPRs,
yeah.
those ones.
Yeah.
So school buses, Super Metros.
Basically the 4.3 liter
Yes,
engine.
yes.
We are very
Yes.
popular.
Yes.
Yeah. Then number 4 is the Hilux now.
Okay. Top 5.
Yeah. Then 3, the Hiace. I'm surprised. Actually, never expected to see the Hiace on that list. They sold 712 units.
van?
The van, yeah.
I'm also surprised.
Hiyo ilienda kwa this Kisii guy.
Nani huyo?
The guy who goes kina Guardian.
Oh, the
he buys
tablets.
them
Yeah.
brand new.
Tablets.
Yes.
Sinajua zile za mabasi za kwenda mavan za kwenda Kisii.
Yeah.
You know it's Kisii.
You know, I'm wondering, they buy brand new.
Yeah,
they buy brand
spanking
new,
new.
yeah.
That guy goes to Scania and buys like 4 cabs like this. Kisses like comfort. You guy.
Wakisi mko na pesa, mnajifanya tu huku ati vile hata
No, but
mnang'ang'ana.
think of it this way. A Kisii guy can wake up at home at 4, akuje kotini at 8 and go back. It doesn't want anything in Nai. 4 hours out.
Hata kama alikuwa nyesha.
Hey,
And anyway, he's not going to spend on music in the vehicles.
because I bigger story.
Yeah.
Well played. But yeah. So I think that's the Kisses and DHL.
And DHL, eh?
Yes. DHL probably bought 100.
DHL, yeah.
Nasikia ukipanda hizo basi za kwenda Kisii mazee unatoka ukiwa deaf bana. Uko kelele.
Nice counseling.
Anyway, so the last car, second place.
Yeah.
Guess it's a common car. It's bought a lot.
It's bought a lot.
Yeah. It was Polisi.
The LC.
Yeah. 7 Series. That's the second best selling car in 2024.
I imagine 2022 thereabouts would have had the Ford pickups.
Yeah.
The
Again,
Rangers.
Gava.
Yeah, then Gava. Yeah.
Because Gava then was doing a lot of Ford.
Yeah. But the stats just show how poor we are because
So like you're saying, maybe that
The whole
list
2024
went
probably
the
got-
whole 2000 maybe.
Yeah.
like in the whole year, if I do the summation, maybe we're like 3,000 vehicles.
So
total.
just a context on that. So I'm sort of in that like space, and Kenya per year I think imports like 30-40K cars. Yeah, across, right? So if you're doing like 2K cars, it's about numbers. I don't know if you'd say like it's economy or taxes, because essentially if you look at SA is like 98% the other way. Like your 21-year-old goes to a golf dealership,
But it's
comes out.
In fact, talking about SA, so the Isuzu for Kenya is 1,181 units. So the best selling car in SA is the Hilux, 32,000 units.
That's what I'm saying. And guess how much the Hilux goes for in
and that's
SA?
just one unit.
Yeah.
That's one brand.
Yeah, that's one brand.
Actually a semi-brand.
Yeah.
No, but those cars, the
one
Hilux in SA is
Yeah.
forward like hell.
Right?
It's forward, but it also moves. Like the whole mining community is getting a Hilux.
Yeah. So anyway, we need to try
We
and
need to
see
work
how we
hard.
can improve our economy.
Imagine if we had that list in Kenya of just 32,000. I don't, we're not even saying at SG Hilux is just the entire, to top 10, 32,000. That'd be a very huge difference.
In fact, even the 10th car in South Africa, the Sherry Tigo,
It's still selling more units.
it's still
Than the number
Sherry
one.
alone
Yeah.
has
Probably
more units
10K.
than the entire Kenyan industry.
Yeah, because you find like on the luxury markets, maybe Mercedes is selling 19 units. And here they're like, hey, we had a bumper here. Yeah, sold 19 new vehicles.
It's a 50 mic car.
Anyway.
EVs. I saw that the new Leaf is now a Kamini crossover.
It's profile.
It's looking nice.
Profile.
Oh, there's a new Leaf.
Yes.
I've not seen it.
And the range has increased.
Yeah, it's going to about 500
Yeah. Maybe practically what, for something?
for
20.
20. No, but the Leaf is proper, like the one you drove.
Yeah, because
We've been getting to 40 kilometers day in, day out.
how many?
To 40 kilometers.
40, yeah.
And that's the stick and
I was
range.
getting 200.
Yeah.
Which is
You're pushing it.
Oh,
You're not on Evo
you
mode.
live with a Leaf.
I could, because 200 isn't too bad.
No, you had it for some time, and you just drove it
I had
once.
it
Like
for a couple of days.
a couple of days. How was it?
Like for very good. First of all, it's quiet. It's electric,
Yeah.
so it's very quiet. It's well built actually. It doesn't rattle, unlike a Land Rover. It's the BMWs that are rattling.
and yes, it's quicker than which car?
Than all the cars. That's Subaru.
You did a drag, was it you?
Yeah,
It
it
was a
dragged
Leaf
again.
versus a Forester.
Yeah.
That thing.
That was called
That thing
out.
pulls. I used to love Weekend at Home. There's
No,
a long stretch of
It's physics, you know, like
yeah,
the
it's
power
electric.
delivery of a motor. A motor has one moving part. An engine has like 4K.
That is actually would get like range 100.
Hey, dude, you push that thing, it goes.
Yeah.
It goes, yeah.
Yeah.
For
Well, the
context,
speed
you
is
manage
capped,
Leafs, eh?
unfortunately.
Yes, I have a whole bunch of
Like
them.
there's a fleet of Leafs.
Yes.
Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
the
the
thing
Nissan
about
Leaf
EVs
is like-
is you have a suspension rattle, everyone knows.
Oh, really?
You know, a lot of cars,
You don't
the
hear
kelele
it
is
in your normal
yes,
car.
because it's masked.
But on
An
an
engine
engine, you
is-
hear it because it's too quiet. So you're like,
Yeah.
So you hear everything else.
Dude,
Yeah.
like I don't know how much you know about everything, like everything. like a bad mount on the left, utajua tu left
Utajua.
mount. Yeah, we do service obviously for these cars. One guy comes in, we do service for him. He comes back the next day like, dude, this thing rattles. We drove that thing, it's not rattling. But you go and draft on Lagos, you and take from somewhere. We took the whole suspension finding that thing. But if there was an engine there, probably 100k kilometers easy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, I could live with one.
Yeah. I think
It's especially for like you who like goes 10 kilometers.
No, but here's the thing about like everyone, especially everyone who lives in Nairobi. We are very repetitive. You live from A, you work at B, it's 10 kilometers, you go back. So guys are like, nikitaka kwenda coast. One of the questions we ask is, Milini last will end coast, right? And you'll probably fly.
Most likely.
Why are you opening wounds?
No, the whole point is there's that fear of EVs can't do much.
Yeah.
But 98% of all of us, even here, it's home, jobo, back home, right? So you have an electric car to do that. Even a 100-kilometer range car would easily do that. And you charge it with like punch.
Yeah. Since you work on them, like what do you service?
Honestly, nothing. So
Like a
So
coolant, your storage.
imagine even coolant is a 100k issue at 100k. Even the brakes, you only change them because they're old, not because they meisha. Yeah, they start to get glassy.
Because of the
Regenerative. Yes. So majority of service is more suspension, obviously, because of our roads. And software upgrades, downgrades. 9 out of 10 times is actually software downgrades.
Don't the motors have filters?
Zero.
Okay.
Zero.
So they're sealed things.
Yeah, zero.
So like, okay, because I see guys with hybrid cars talking about how the dust gets into the hybrid system.
So the battery itself has, so the battery is cooled, right? Because when assume like your phone, ukitumia after a while, it gets like really hot at the back. So for hybrids, there's a fan which has a filter.
Okay.
So that fan, when it's spinning, it ingizes vumbi. So you need to remove it and clean it.
Yeah, but on electrics, you have coolant.
Yes, we have actually coolant moving
so that's the difference.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they get cooled better
Oh, that's interesting.
than hybrids.
Yeah. No, they're
Actually, there's more maintenance on a hybrid
yes.
than on an EV. In fact, I want you to give me one of your lifts
Actually, I'm happy to give you one for a week.
for a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they will really enjoy
And
that.
the catch is use it as you used, like you'd use your kawaida car. If you
Actually,
have
just charge it. So you drop a cable from the house.
yeah.
That's what I
even
used
in
to
the
do.
office, charge it for free.
And I used to love when I'm charging because neighbors would be like,
What's happening?
sitanyeshewa. I'm like, wacha tuone, and I would just plug it.
And we have a role to play in that. Like there's a lot of education that needs to happen in terms of EVs. And so we have this dashboard just to show where all our EVs are. Guess how much you spend for service for a month?
On what? Like a
On the
single EV
EVs.
or like
per EV.
it
Since I
ridiculously
know,
low
I
figure. would be like maybe 500 bob
on average.
Yeah, roughly.
Like 200 shillings on average.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's less than that.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
For the whole month.
And that's full service, including suspension and tires.
It's $12 on average per month.
Yes. Suspension, tires, coolant, all that stupid
So
nonsense.
basically, you're saying if you want a cheap car to run, buy an EV.
The only catch is like Kare gets you and like kuja hapa, shikas you properly. But once it's in your hands, you're talking about spending less than 1,500 like per month on service.
Because from empty, because I would run the car almost to nothing. I would charge it at 7%. I found I was spending maybe like 900 bob.
Yeah, it's like a G. It's nothing.
And let me ask, the batteries.
Yeah.
I'm assuming someone is going to import an 8-year-old car.
Yes.
Isn't the battery just about to reach its end of life?
So there are two ways to look at it. So there is the what's this? There's the age issue, and then there is the usage issue before it came in, right? So example, so all our cars are like 4 years old out of Japan. 9 out of 10 out of them, they are fleet cars. So they were used by Nissan either for marketing or whatever that was. So I think one of our cars actually imported at 64 kilometers mileage. Spanking new. But if you import an 8-year-old car, there's something called a state of health. So the state of health is how healthy that battery pack is. So ideally, anything above 50%, you'd get about 70% of range. So if you have a sticker range of about 240 kilometers, an 8-year-old car, you'd get probably 180 to 200. Not bad.
Not bad.
But then that number quickly diminishes if you now start, if you drive in like,
now.
uki punch, like you always
Heating.
Because now heat now starts to become an issue. But then again, electric vehicles, traffic does not affect electric vehicles. You'd sit at Kimende for like 2 days, you'd lose 1%. So there's not that much effect. But now the issue is what happens now when you've brought in the car and then the battery has died. Luckily, the Chinese are there. And then all these cars, from the first Leaf that came out in 2011 up to now, the battery placement is exactly the same. You can actually put a 2024 Leaf battery into the 2011. A bit pricey. We're talking about $5,000-$6,000. But obviously, it's the same ecosystem as just an engine. Just go to Dubai, buy a battery, put it up on you, and then that's all. So it's not a major issue, but you might start, after 2-3 years, you might start probably looking at putting a new pack.
A new pack.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I think I'd want to see, is there an all-wheel drive lift? An all-wheel drive Leaf
UK market, yes.
UK market?
Yeah, here.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to see one with a Tesla battery swapped in there.
We're actually doing something interesting at the workshop. So someone basically told us if we can try get to 400 kph. I teased something about this on my Instagram about doing a Tesla motor in a Starlet. So the whole dance about that is, can we actually try to do a land speed in Kenya? Obviously, there are some legal aspects to it, but we have someone who has a private strip. We'll see if we can actually touch 400 using like used Tesla parts, used Nissan Leaf parts, and all those things.
Wait, and what matters is it the battery or the motor?
A little bit of both. So there's how much the motor can demand, and also there's how much the battery can give.
Can release at any given
before.
time.
So there's that burst. So you can get like a 10-second burst, which in theory that's enough to do a drag. Yeah. So that's why you find, if you watch, is it Matt Watson? Who say just buys a Tesla Blood, does nothing, even just does a software update. Someone comes a 1200 HP GTR, gaps you for days. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. What else is in the news? The C63. You saw they actually killed the V8.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder hybrid.
And so what?
It's like,
Should
why,
be like
why
a
would you have
what?
63 on a
Without a
liter?
V8. With what Barani loves to call maziwa bottles. Maziwa engines.
Well, his guy is also Maziwa.
Maziwa,
right?
yes, it's a
It's
2-liter.
maziwa.
Yeah, so
So Barani, there
I
you
think
go.
naming your Benz to Kwanzaa is just off.
Yeah, C63 with a
The
2
2
liter.
liter.
No, man.
No, but think of it this way. There's only so much fire you can extract from an engine. You need a turbo to run us like this.
Yeah.
You need to do lightweight, flywheel, all those nonsense. You put a small hybrid motor there, you get the same power as a V8 for cheap.
but
But that's not the point. When you're getting a C63, it's not
want the
really.
noise.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
the
drama.
noise.
Yeah,
theater.
but the you and me who would buy the C63 for the V8, it's like 5 out of 5,000.
I know.
So
What are
it's
you
more
saying?
market.
That there's someone who will buy that car
No,
just
but
for the speed.
wewe hapo
No,
hapo
bana.
nakutoa macho. Look at the sales.
No, sales are shit.
Yeah, no one is buying the 4-cylinder.
Yeah, sales are shit. Here's because like I think to come more of, now people are doing like things to do with emissions, fuel consumption. The typical me and you car people, like, and the reason we're having this podcast, the typical me and you guys, example, like you drive a Swift, right? There are better cars than the Swift
For that price.
for that price.
Yeah.
Like, or is it just like someone said, like, dude, a premium will do everything the Swift to do, but you want drivability.
Premium, you've
So
been
that
wrapped.
exactly, dude, a premium right now is like almost 3 mic.
Yeah.
The you and me guys for cars, and I'll be honest, and this probably you guys mtapinga hii. After 205 maze, there are no cars up there. Probably you'd go the Swift, maybe a GR and things like that.
Or even the variety.
Like if you're an actual driver, you
It
want
depends on the
feedback.
budget. If within what I'll call mwananchi budgets, that's 2 mic and below.
Hakuna
gari.
Yes, hakuna. You stuck actually with the Swift peke yake.
And even then, right now with the new taxes, I mean, we're not so sure about that anymore.
That's the thing.
There are no cars. There's no more fun.
Like you need 10 mic to bring a proper car. We give them a Supra level.
Yeah. That's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, but you see, those are 2 D-Maxes. You get.
yeah, and the
Hey, was it justified?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's quite something. The new CX-5 is also out.
The CX-8 as well.
CX-8 also.
Proper car.
There's a new CX-5.
Yeah, the 2026 CX-5. So it's basically like these others have been refreshes.
Is it the 50 or the 5?
That's a full body.
5. Yeah, so it's actually the second gen CX-5. These others have been facelifts.
Facelifts, yeah, that's true.
So there is a new CX-5.
Oh, interesting.
The one that's coming with the Skyactiv X engine. Yes.
The ones I've seen are the CX60, CX90, and CX70, which are now
Those
coming with 3.3 liter
Yeah, diesel.
inline 6 diesel.
They're the inline 6.
So they've gone the
diesels.
BMW way.
And also
Oh, longitudinal.
like,
they have a
6.
3.3 petrol.
Yeah, but there's a 2.5 hybrid.
Yes, there's a
Four-cylinder,
2.5 hybrid.
which has more power than the 3.3 liter 6-cylinder. Actually, if you check I
will
remember,
check.
there's I saw an ad CX60.
Before tuandikiwe hapo below.
No, hii niko sure.
Nini tunasema.
Hii jaba hii sure. I saw an ad for a CX60. I think it was at Alos 9 Motors. George Kingari was actually doing the review. So it's a 3.3 liter 3.3 liter turbo diesel,
Yes.
inline 6, 250 horsepower.
Probably as a def.
It's an 8-speed gearbox, but I think
Definitely
Mazda
is a def.
makes their own gearboxes. I highly suspect Mazda
Mazda has their own gear.
They have their own
No,
in-house,
Mazda. Yeah.
in-house gearbox. So
And now they're actually coming with the 8 speeds.
yeah, they're only 8 speeds.
Yeah.
So the 250 horsepower, and if I'm not wrong, around 550 Newton
550,
meters
yes,
of
actually you're
torque.
right. It's 550
Yes.
Newton meters.
But then,
Sasa ameweza kimbiza numbers.
but then there's a 2.5 liter hybrid, plug-in hybrid with
More
about
numbers.
300
The one with the
horsepower.
320.
Yeah.
Yes, 320 horsepower.
Because of that small motor. Toshana's like this. 100 horsepower more.
Yeah, the hybrid motors.
Yeah. And then Mazda is going
And of course,
rear-wheel
being a
drive.
hybrid means the 0 to 5. I think they are
Yeah.
5 seconds,
Yeah,
5.5.
they're quick. Those cars are still
Golf
quick.
R numbers.
Fast, yeah.
Those cars are quick
On an
now.
SUV.
Yeah, I think that weighs nearly 2 tons and
Yeah. And they're doing the rear biased oil system.
Yeah.
So basically, power is at the rear
I think
wheels.
there's 70 party now.
Yeah, so it's a
Something
BMW
like that.
basically from Japan.
But BMW is also mad guys now.
Yeah.
I drove the Ibra from Conversation. He had the X3M, the M40D. My God, they've even give you a G-force meter there.
Yeah.
I think it's pushing like 800 Nm.
My
But
Swift
it has
also
the
has a G-force
57.
meter. My Swift has that.
But there is G4s.
I have a G-force meter.
Proper.
Bruh.
Now I normally see those videos of you gapping cars. And nice.
That guy is, that's Swift.
No, but that's what you were saying. Like cars nowadays are just dull. You're limited to like a very fine.
And you know now, as with all this, we are moving now into the conversation of you.
In fact, BMWs.
Small
welcome to
cars,
BMWs.
small cars are absolute fun.
Yeah.
There's a way, the way you drive a small car, it feels so much different from even driving that M5.
Yeah.
Because you feel the weight.
Yeah.
But on a small one, it just feels like
You are the weight.
exactly.
Yeah,
the weight.
yeah.
You just want to throw it around the corners. Yeah, the weight.
That's why you can squeeze it into things that should not be.
In the very first episode when we were just like doing the background, I remember just saying that of all vehicles I've driven, my favorite was the Datsun pickup, the 1400. And that car was absolute fun because of how light it is. And now Biuko bigger in corners at bad speeds.
Unaingia
You're
vile
like,
unataka.
what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
I'd really want to like drive a Swift, a manual Swift, just Cotistis too. Yeah, I'm sure you'd enjoy it.
You'd have
Yeah.
Well,
You'd have fun.
you've been driving the Starlet.
I hated that car.
Didn't see that one coming, bro.
It's dude, and I say this with a lot of love. Yeah, it's a beautiful car. Like when you seated, it's like you're outside because the window goes all the way to the back.
You're sitting in the boat.
But dude, it did nothing proper. Like it was economical, doing like 70 kilometers per liter. Ukiata economy and looking nice.
Sit that up.
Let me tell you
Mine was the
something.
5e.
This guy didn't have a 4E FTE engine in that Starlet. The day I found out, I almost slapped him.
Sir, let me tell you the truth. Let me.
was in there.
Ngoja. Vanilla skiza. It had the 5e, the Jembe. Here's why.
That's why you're hating the
No,
car.
let me explain. Tell me one person right now who has a 5e and it matches the logbook. 0. Ask anyone. Everyone who has a 5e right now has a 5e under their bed. A 4E FTE has a 4E FTE under their bed. That engine is stupid and reliable. The turbo is shit. Everything of that engine is just bad. And guys are doing probably 10 kilometers per liter on a 1400cc car.
Hey, Kina
No,
Batman
ask anyone.
will have you for
Ask him.
you what are
Let me what I'll
his
do.
friends were kumalize.
No, it's the truth. Okay, hawatakwambia ni unreliable.
Yeah.
Watakwambia sijui nimeka CT12 nini. Mwambie tu apige picha engine number na logbook. Match those numbers, they won't be the same.
Anyway, I'll ask my one of my mates, Mr. Lobster.
Uliza lobster, but
Lobster
but
said
like,
No, we're in the same group.
In the same
Na
group.
pia ameboost yake lobster. So lobster's answer won't be correct because he's built his own, he's running a standalone ECU, and he doesn't daily that car.
He doesn't even drive that car.
He doesn't drive it.
no, it's
Any
actually
Mac.
become assumed.
Ukenda garage yake, it's always
just
parked there.
Yeah.
No, I'm in the same group as him. And actually, when I bought mine, and so all the cars I buy normally shells because I want to, Nananga 4E, I read about them. The 4E is nice, but it's a 130 horsepower and probably 160 Newton meters.
Yeah, it's
Those
just,
are bad
it's just a
numbers.
dog, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Not-
bad
not doing
numbers.
anything.
The 5E has 7 horsepower and probably 150 Newton meters. It'll do, other than that straight line speed, it'll do the same things, minus the unreliability.
Yeah. So what's for EFT is unreliable?
Very.
Yeah.
For a Toyota.
For your Toyota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, my Golf is reliable.
You still have the Golf.
I don't know about this guy.
This guy, chana huyu jamaa asiwadanganye. In which world is that VW is more reliable than Toyota?
Every one of his cars, but then, funny enough, actually, he's always been telling me his VW is reliable.
Shit.
When was the last time you stalled apart from yesterday?
I did stole yesterday.
But you
So
did.
you say.
But you did.
Where?
See me, I saw you.
Where?
Wait,
I
but
can't stall bana. Heri nikae chini ya hiyo gari hadi asubuhi. I can't stall.
So the BW engine has been good.
And this goes back to Mura. So I've actually been reading about VWs for the last 4 years before I built mine.
Yeah.
I got a nice shell from Gearhaus, built it in the house. Hiyo gari jaikanyaga kwa any proper mech. And I'm not a proper mech. I won't lie. I'm an office guy. I just tinker with cars for fun. That car hajaisumbua ever. We had one mistake because that car, when I bought it, the previous owner had done an all-wheel drive swap.
Okay.
So in the rear wheel, there were wires for the CAN bus for the Haldex, the thing that controls the 4-wheel.
the 4-wheel, yeah.
Zilikuwa zinahang. And then I had done like a wide wheel. So when zilikuwa zina rub, basically it was creating noise to the ECU. That was the time it stalled, and that was like 4 days after I had swapped. Na nikafutwa hadi home. Kesho yake tukitafuta where the comp was the problem, napata rim inaguza CAN bus. Never done that. Dude, nimesafisio gari 4 times at Zado. 0 issues, 0 leaks. I think I've done like almost probably 20 Ks on it. 0 issues.
The time we were leaving Masinga, I think it was last year's Masinga.
Yeah.
This guy was flying in that Golf banner.
It's a proper
Every time I've seen him, he's always...
It's a proper car.
He was sending it.
For whatever reasons, I always find him pale kale kanjia ka...
Nyuma ya ule Sereni.
ICD. He's always flying. I'm like, yeah, Alex.
I tell guys like that's a proper 300 kph car, and I'm not lying. It's a proper 300 kph car. And it's probably on a very mild stage 1.
So which of your cars would you say is stock apart from the picnic table?
The picnic, we're going K24. Probably other next week.
Picnic table in Garigani.
The CRV.
The CRV.
Oh, the CRV. RE1.
Yeah, I bought it because of the table. So
The table,
he calls
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even the B20B,
Yeah.
that thing goes to 8,000 RPM.
The B20s are
it's proper.
They're very good.
It's proper.
They of course have the high lift.
I actually sold the Starlet to buy that car because I'm like, this Kendeshi Starlet anymore.
I thought you were buying that car for your wife.
Which one?
The CRV.
No, sir, now my bikes. Yeah,
Your
na
wife bike.
magari.
Oh,
Yeah. Actually now the Golf is just a school bus. Taking Toto to school, probably a boost lap every Saturday.
Wait. So your fun pays the CRV?
No, it's my daily now.
Oh, it's your daily.
It's a fun car.
It's my daily because, so initially I've been trying to save money to buy a car, but every time I want to buy like a proper car, Kiare comes in and then like, acheka kiasi. Yeah.
You sold the Prado?
Yeah, I've sold it. It was just in the house parked. This year I think it
Actually,
done like
ilikuwa
600
toolbox
kilometers.
yake. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa kwa
Hey,
engine za hizi
ilikuwa
gari
kwenda
zingine.
engine.
I think Vanilla, we need to put that photo of him on the
On
side
the
of
Prado.
side of the
That was
road.
done by Patel Mandazi. Yeah. I lost a wheel in huko chini.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Mashuru, yeah.
But you've had a very interesting collection of cars. I think you're one of the guys who just buys weird cars
You buy anything?
and then just do weird swaps.
There's different ways to think about it, right? So when I was in uni, I had like this list of cars I have to own. You know, your Starlet, your Golfs, So that list is still there of 15 cars. So for me, I just want to own it. It's in my house. It's in my name. Drive it. And then I'm like, out. And then now the beauty is every time like I have a car, may drive them. I won't lie. Yeah, I go to Costo. Actually, the reason I even sold the Starlet is, I think a month ago, nilikuwa Costo.
On SGR.
No, I drove down. Yeah, on the Starlet.
At least I know I saw.
Then
went with it.
yeah.
Na
And
iko
that was I think 3 days after the
Did you
swap.
have a break?
That was actually my break-in period.
Okay.
And then hata engine ilikuwa imebuy 30k kutoka huko chini Kangundo Road. And then msako like chemka mazo scam na kuza 30k. But it had everything. So me in my head ni like I have a shell. There's a because initially when I bought the so here's a story about the Starlet. I got a nice shell, decently cheap. I think 100 Gs.
Yeah.
But it didn't have like it had the interior. It didn't have the bonnet, the boot. Why? And that's why there were different colors. I had to buy them. And then so when it came in the house, I wanted to do a for EFTE. The only guy who was selling a for EFTE was Redline. I think he was selling for 200 Gs. That's a shitload amount of money because my Golf engine was 200 Gs. So Nico like easy. From Dubai, the for EFT is like 250 Gs. And actually Redlines was auto. So obviously you need another like 60k for a manual.
Yeah.
And like you need a mob. So I needed just a placeholder, just move the vehicle around. And then I started toying with the idea of doing a 2ZZ. So 2ZZ has like one I think Golf numbers, 180 horsepower, 250 to 60 Newton meters.
Actually, it's the opposite. It has more power than torque.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a proper engine.
Yeah. So it's an over square engine. So
Yeah.
It's high.
And then it's a Yamaha
Higher
engine. Yeah,
everything
you
and
go
so
all
on.
the way to 9,000. The problem is, 2ZZ is also like stupid expensive. But
then I saw someone who went. How much were you seeing the 2ZZs?
no, so I wanted one that's married to the gearbox.
Oh,
Sikutaka
I
kubai
saw someone
here,
was
alafu
selling
I saw one at a
2
on
units
Facebook.
recently, and
Yeah.
I think we're selling them at what 180k or
Still
nice.
expensive, 180 manze.
Yeah, but it's a 2ZZ.
but-
Paka Dubs, they're really expensive
Yeah.
engines.
So anyway, so that was what was to go to the Starlet. And then I'm talking to my guy in Dubai, I'm importing parts, and then he aniambia niaje kuna motor Tesla Model Y Performance. It's being sold for like 100 Gs. Like, iweke kwa container. So then the plan changed from 2ZZ to a Tesla motor because I had batteries in the workshop.
On which car? I guess
On the Starlet. So that was the one to do a land speed. So I was to do a Model S Performance motor front and back. Yeah, quick straight line, dump everything, sell everything, I go home. So after so I went to Gangudo Road, bought the engine, nikaiweka manze. I go to the office, I'm like, nikaika G manze nimepiga 3 days. I'm like, okay, it's weird. Did a full tank went to cost, I think nilifika iko like a quarter and like, okay, it's not a bad engine if I'm not looking for speed. Because again, remember I have the Golf, so you can't have like 2 proper cars. So I drive it. Alafu, niko like, actually, the engine is nice. It's lazy, but it does everything. Iko ka jembe. Unataka kwenda Nax, eka G enda. Unataka kwenda ofisi, eka thao, piga 2 weeks. So I started to fall in love, quote unquote. But then again, you drive a Starlet and then that evening you need to go to the supermarket, unasema,
Tugurumishe.
yeah, acha niende village market because expressway. You're like, this is actually a bad car. And then obviously, I'm a father now. You need a bit of safety, airbags, all those stupid stuff. Starlet didn't have them.
Does any of your cars have?
Yes.
At this point.
Yes, they all have airbags.
So let's say if we kicked your
Then
Golf.
pop.
You're sure?
Yes,
Sure.
100%.
You want us to try?
100%.
Or you want us to
Yeah,
try?
see, you paint cars. Ndakuletea tu. Me, I'm
This
not
video
right.
is coming.
We are popping an airbag. You're staring.
Yeah. But anyway, the Starlet started to become like a bit boring because the first time I drove a Starlet, I was in uni. My Palahala had one. It was proper. Also, I think maybe because I didn't have the 4E, ndio maana pia it went down. And then ile tu like, okay, nisha drive Starlet, then what? Yeah, and then someone gave me like a decent offer, like, cheki, unauza? Nikamwambia siuzi. Utachukua X? Nikamwambia, well, sounds reasonable.
This guy is a funny chap. So he sold a Starlet and bought a Honda CR-V because of a bloody table.
Yes. That's why I'm like, he just bought a picnic table.
Yeah.
He didn't buy like, I didn't care for
You
it.
better use that table.
I
Properly.
will. Picnic. Because you drive mnapanga. Naeka hema hapo juu.
Yeah.
Naeka a few taskers there.
And where's the Tesla motor?
Still at the office.
You have it.
You have it.
Yes. So now I'm looking for a car. I've gotten like a nice, those old Jags with 2 fuel tanks in Nax. Kidogo nangoja,
So you get-
nangoja approve of funds eke kidole. I'll get it.
So we get a pick and put it to.
For what?
See, we put in the test.
I know pickups are horrible cars.
So those are the ones they're using
Eh,
on drag easy. Yes, sir.
I know what I'll do. I'll call these guys, Makalasinga, E36.
Nani? Screaming.
Screaming Motors.
So,
Screaming Motors. Kuna Tesla
a
Motors.
Tesla
hapa.
motor. Ni gari haina.
Ni gari haina.
Here's what
Which
I
car do
think.
you want?
Yeah.
To whenever there is someone who's going to offer, what do you want?
To be honest, I'll still go back BMW. probably 36. Same as what I had.
So if there's someone with an E36 and he wants it paired to a Tesla, no strings attached.
Bora tu siniharakisha. I'm up to build it for you. Bora usinipigie jioni kuuliza imefika wapi.
Lakini gari ni ya hiyo mtu.
No, gari ni yake, nitamtumia tu a final bill. Ikiwa 1M saa, ikiwa 10M pia, it's a bad day for him.
Haya, sawa basi.
Talking of
E36.
BMW E36,
That is a home. Now, I've had all the series of BMWs, by the way. Secretly.
we'll get there. Why don't you ever finish building a BMW?
No. Why doesn't he ever finish building any car?
Golf iko karibu kuisha, ni baki paint. By cause msajengia box. And you new paint na retweets.
Unataka na paint ya 20k.
Mwambia tuandikie vanilla poem na bado anafikiria
the thing is, and I'll be very honest. So like when I finished the golf, quote unquote,
When you almost finished.
So everything was fine, it's running, so baki kwenda paint, and I swear to God, I had money. Msaka nitias talent. Like, dude, someone to paint the golf is probably 100 G's.
That a photo of a kid biting different apples. Please insert it.
So I'm like,
he has a whole
so
tray.
I'm telling my wife, like, hii paint si mbaya sana. Na kuna salet nimeitiwa, we'll have 2 cars, yeah? So that money by there, and I won't lie, I bought the salet for 100 G's. So that money gave this guy to transfer the cars to me, car comes home.
Every cool is this is a family show. How do you ever go to your wife's in-laws? Because I don't think you have to do a car hire. Like,
well, like they live in nice roads. Plus, the Prado does that. See, there's the white Prado, which is normally just hidden somewhere. Like all these official runs in the kazi yake. After hapo hema.
So there's a black and white Prado. The black one is one that he sold.
Yeah, but that one has gone.
That was a pickup.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah. Hey, so back to the BMW thing. You had an E36.
Yes.
So that E36, you had done a swap. You had put the, is it MB30?
Yeah, M54 B30 from the X5.
M54 B30.
Yes.
From the X5.
Yes.
How was that?
Proper car.
It's actually a really good engine. So
yeah, it's not a bad engine.
Ibra anakuangalia.
No, I know. Ndio maana I'm choosing my words because Ibra niangalia. Even Ibra actually has chopped his. Oh, yeah. Captured his M54. I think he's going the twin turbo N54 twin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we're building now.
The N.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're just going full power.
That's really bad.
It's just because we can't afford a B58. Na ingewezekana.
That's what I'm saying. It's like terrible engines. Where are you moving from an okay engine to a really bad engine?
No, it's because, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
The M54 is that cheap, right? We'd buy them, I think, for like 150 G's. Huko ndani kwa mapipa. Because Kangunda Road, people hate anything outside Asia, right?
Yeah.
You go to Kangunda Road, someone has an X5 proper Adi with a 6-speed manual, and akuzia the whole setup for 150 G's because they'll overheat. So we have our engineer guy called Kanye. He's called KK Auto Solutions, just here in Kona. He does all that for us, like retread the heads, resurfacing. Very brilliant kid. So anytime we'd buy an engine, because one of the major issues the M54, it was an aluminium block.
Yeah.
So if you overheat, ina pull the thread, alafu ina warp.
Yeah.
So what Kanye used to do, or what Kanye does, he does like those filler with steel. So when ukitighten, it's still on steel. Yes, and then he does like shellac, all those engineering things. So our engines would hold.
Okay.
So the E36 was a beautiful car, but I think the mistake was when I bought it, like the problem with sometimes when you have money, you're not a reasonable guy, right? So, and it's not like I have money.
He's not finishing because he has no money.
He has money.
It is really because he has no dedication to finishing anything.
Half of it, yeah. So I did post this pic on Facebook. So all these cars normally come from Facebook Marketplace. So it's called Mike. It's a pal of mine. Niaje niko na E36 hapa, unknown condition, but 100 G's. So cause he's my pal, nikamuuliza iko sawa ting ting M-Pesa 100K. Call my flatbed guy, akaambia you can come here nilete gari. Car comes in, it's fine. Ilikuwa na the old M43, the old lazy engine.
Yeah.
Reliable but lazy. So when I drove the M43, I was trying to go to Ololokwe that time. Ikachemka. So came back, just crawled back, ikafika. Didn't have a problem. I just found the E36 and E46 as a chassis has stupidly bad cooling design. Like even to bleed that car lazima in gari side moja. Like iko na sijui bleed screw. Like you just can't put water and go home. Yeah, so it overheat. We did the 54 overheated like twice. You know the problem with overheating, unafungua hivi unapata piston inacheza. All of a sudden it goes from a gasket to a 30k job.
Yeah.
Affordable, we can do it at home, but the frequency of which we are doing it. But then again, remember to know our engines come up, so you don't expect much out of it. So Ibra builds this engine, it's perfect. I think after we dragged once. So that day after we dragged in Macha.
You versus Ibra.
No. I think it was an actual race. Then we combat time. Yeah, I think I raced to that track.
The 8th mile.
Yes.
8th mile. He participated once.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
And then I went into a corner. I think there's a bolt here, shock ilitokana. Probably my mistake, probably not. I didn't talk things properly. Ikatokana. But the good thing was, after I dragged that car, someone saw it and wanted to buy the drivetrain. Like, mi nataka tu engine na gearbox na diff. Offers me 500 Gs.
So you sold it.
Aye, bro, money.
You had bought everything like for 150,000 at this point.
Hey,
So
like so all the money I'd put in was probably 300. And then after nimeuza kila kitu bado niko na shell, niko na miguu, niko na steering rack, niko na bucket seats, niko na radio. Like have like another 300k worth of shit. So after I've sold the drivetrain now, the idea was to get K24 upon that. Because for cylinder.
Yeah. So the
Activate
K24 for the listeners is the
Honda one. Yeah.
Honda, the CRV.
Yeah.
It's their standard engine.
Yes.
K24.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had gotten a block for like $600, the A2 one from the Honda
D3.
Civic, yes. But from Inje, so there was a whole dance to it. So basically sold that, ikakuwa na do. So that was on Saturday. On Monday, Guido posts a picture of now the Golf. Niaje, shell for sale, 200 Gs, 299 I think. Yeah, it was 299. Full interior, haina engine. Kakol Mura. Unajai gari. So the car previously was being serviced at Mura's.
Actually, the previous owner is my former neighbor. Preston.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that car like mwenyewe had done like a big turbo, like umse mazea kwa spec first. I think it was running like magnesium wheels, worth like 400 Gs. Like, dude, umse alikuwa amepick boxes. And then majority of the GTIs in Kenya actually FSIs tuned to, like basically converted. But that was a proper GTI, heated seats, all creature comforts, automatic lights, all those things. Yeah.
Do they still?
Yes, they all work. So guys wananiambia niaje 299. Remember I have 500 Gs in my
Like
pocket.
there is being politically correct. Hapa juu tu.
No, for real. So Guy that calls me, or rather I call Guy niaje 299 nikamwambia me have like 260 Gs. Akaniambia okay, dona ni kiasi. Na I won't lie, you my pal, because of course, you know, everyone in the cast knows everyone. Kuna msa anakujia. So the first one to bring me money picks the car. So that car was, you know where Craft is? Kwa Roba.
In Karen.
Yes, just hapo. And my office is like 2 minutes away.
They're like,
Hey, I have money in my pocket.
trendy.
So in my lunch break, niko like, sawa. Go in, see the vehicle, has everything, doesn't have suspension. I call Mura, akona suspension. Niko like, okay, no bad. Alafu naambia Mura how much, anaambia we kujia. Niko like, Mura mazeni niambia bei ndio nijue. Anaambia, see, we come. We've done a lot pamoja, we kujia. So I go there, offer, ako like, and then now as like we are talking, mazem sana come here. And then he offers I think to 50 Gs. Me was offering like to 60 Gs. So hapo ni like manalipa ndienda na gari. Guy the money, hizo vitu zote. So nikamshow, I'll give you X, okay, transfer by X, but here's your money. And immediately me transfer, I'll just give you money. Because one of the things, especially for these older vehicles, like there's some issues with paperwork, right?
Yeah.
Msa alipoteza logbook, msa ana access to NTSA. So you buy a vehicle, but it's a whole dance again to have it
To
in your
just
name.
get it on
get
the
it
road.
registered.
Yeah.
And there is some fun into having like a car in your name. You know, it's not working, but it's yours. Unaweza enda ombe deni nayo if you want.
You
But
are
yeah.
kujia.
Yeah. But yeah, so that happened.
Yeah.
Kesho yake nikacall nani Solo akaleta gari home. Picked a few bits from Mura, shikanisha vitu, ordered an engine. Yeah, 1 month later I was driving
You're
and I'm still driving.
Okay. Started off with a car without a bumper, sijui for how.
By then haikuwa na kitu. I was picking like bumper for 5 Gs naeka. You get like 2 Gs, you put like one headlight.
I think we'll post the photo when the car was different colors.
Yeah.
Oddly, and I won't lie, I like that look. You remember when like the bumper was like grey and like a bluish? It looked nice.
Bring it, we paint different colors by the way.
Up. Sa inakaa fit.
Na kafiti.
Tutapaka color zote.
And don't say pia linchocha. You know, that time we did like a drive with I think I had the 36, you had your GTI.
My GTI.
I think it was 7s, no?
Yes, the Mark 7.
Yeah, it's proper car, cause of your rims.
Genuine Aussies.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now, the TL favorite car, the E30. What happened?
By the way, yeah, before the E36, you had an E30.
Yeah.
Actually flipped the 30 for the 36.
That's what happened. The TL's favorite, everybody was like, we are on this journey together.
E30.
We are building an E30. I think there are people who are living their lives through.
You know, I actually had 3 30s. It depends which one you know.
No,
There's
me,
a
I'm talking
2-door
about-
that was greenish.
Yes.
And then there was a 4-door that had like different colors.
And then there's the blue one.
Yes.
And the blue one is the TL one.
Yeah, so that yellow one has a very interesting story.
Okay, start us from
How many colors? Wait, there's green.
There's the green 2-door one.
Yeah, then.
That was a money, I think, when I was starting Twitter.
Yes.
This is back pre-COVID even. Yeah.
Then the next one.
the coat of
Then
many colors.
I had another one which was black.
And then the third one.
So I chopped the black one for the multicolored one, the one that I think you're talking about.
Was it blue or yellow?
It was bluish.
It was bluish. It had a blue fender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the story for that is I got someone from... There's a pal of mine who had bought a UG vehicle and then he lost the paperwork. So he basically sold me that car as a parts car for mine. So that car had been bought from the US ambassador.
Which one, the chopped one, the first one?
So the chopped one.
Yeah,
Achana the
chopped
first one. kwanza.
Yeah, that was the parts car.
Yeah, so the first had been bought from, I think, a US ambassador, one of the ambassadors in UG. I think the engine was like the super reliable M20B25 that had like 21,000 kilometers. Like spanking new. Engine, gearbox, 0 leaks. Like it was proper, everything matched. So that was the engine I used on my multicolored one. Now, the multicolored one, I had like this, that car drove perfectly. But this one time I went into a corner in Limuru because is quick on the left side. So that car initially had a sunroof. So kawaida sunroof, I love that car, had parked I think somewhere for like 5 years. So that waterly sip on this
Behind
footwell.
the fenders,
yes.
yeah.
So one time I put it on a jack nikona tu kishimo. Ha! And go like, I'm out.
You're not dealing with rust.
Yes.
That was rust.
So I actually sold that engine for the 36. The 100 Gs I bought the 36 for. Nilipea mse engine I can pay 36.
Oh, so that was... Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, a trade.
Yeah, chukua engine nipe gari. That engine actually I still maintain it up to now. I know who has it.
Yeah.
Stupid love. Yeah. But that car taught me like quite a bit about BMWs in general, right? So the first thing is BMW is like Toyota in terms of wiring. Like all the fuel pump wiring for 1980 now is the same color code. And then, okay, that was pre-modules. But, and then you can put even a B58 in a BMW without changing. Like, you'll probably touch 6 wires and everything will work. Itafungua your pump and all things.
Take his advice with a pinch of salt.
They don't have to read.
There are guys who shikanisha their cars with random things and they end up working.
Yeah, and it moves.
Okay, jaribu.
It's a Mex car. You know the way a Mex car? Nye tu anajua how it is on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
anakupatia key, anakuambia niendeke. The thing
Hautafika.
does not start. Hautafika. It's not even starting.
Unapata msana anakuambia for the car to start lazima upeleke neutral, urudishe reverse, urudishe neutral, uweke parking alafu ugurumishe.
Alafu ukigurumisha, haita start.
Lazima uzime fan.
Ufunge bonnet kwanza. You know,
Yeah.
there's a vehicle there like Jada.
No, I think
Actually, hiyo gari, hata he changed spark plugs, alifunga bonnet, and then couldn't start anymore. So they open the bonnet. They look at the issues. They're like, you need it to be fast. We changed 2 plugs. So the mech is like, he gari na upuzi. Hebu tufunge hii bonnet. So he bangs it again. The car starts. It's like,
Hata
so
gari
that
ya
is
Al.
Alex.
Hata gari ya Al. Remember gari ya Al?
Yeah,
But
gari
you
ya
mean
Al ilikuwa hivyo.
So you have to
Open the bonnet.
open the bonnet, remove the battery
battery.
terminal, go inside 3 times,
Come back out. Rudisha battery.
hiyo ni kuflood.
Then
Yeah.
start the car.
All cars.
Yeah.
No, but I think they're just fun in building your own cars. Because
Yeah.
I think for me it's more of a hobby thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't watch football. I don't drink. So like for me, like Sato is like a weekend is a proper 24 hours bush shit. What's the best shit to do? Play with engines. Your
So
cars.
again, when we tell you take it with a pinch of salt.
No, if you're paying someone, utakuwa
if
utaumia.
you're going to pay someone to do your
Yeah.
build, utaumia. Yeah.
Because I don't think people share the same goals when it comes to cars. Naweza ambia meko wako unataka hii, yeye atakwambia tu buy. Ile siku kustart gari atakwambia mimi sijui vile zinaingiana and you're like 100k in or 200k in.
And also bills are unique because they're Frankenstein. You tend to shikanisha things.
Yes.
You're trying to put together things from over there and over there, and you really hope they all kind of agree. So now we're on your dad's E30.
Beautiful car. I think again that list I had, the E30 was there, and I really wanted the E30 to work. The problem is like the E30 was so close to home, and then COVID hits. So all of a sudden you need to redirect money, and then this redirection of money basically meant you have a Toto coming. COVID is also there. You also have a project. You need to move houses. This whole Totos whatever. You need to prep for Totos. So all of a sudden you need a car that you can start and can go to hospital. So I needed to make a few changes and so that's why the E30 had to go.
So you're blaming your kid?
I'm not. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but to a level sahi, like my bills are different. Zamani mimi nilikuwa nanunua gari hata ina windscreen. Sahi at the very least body has to be A1. Like the one thing I don't skimp on is body. Yeah. Like
Kitambo kuna jali.
Dude, gari 30k later.
Inasonga iko tu sawa. Na kama isongi who cares?
I think I just overbelieved in myself and my finances. Right now, Nico, like I'd rather spend more on an engine than
In fact, I saw today there's a video by Follow, that the lady. Yeah, she was doing a pre-purchase inspection on an FJ Cruiser.
Yeah,
Engine and gearbox were perfect.
the body is meh.
The underbody chassis
Nothing.
full of rust.
Yeah.
Full of rust, and she was saying it's the worst car you can buy.
But here's the thing, and every time you see like gari megongwa roof iko huko, mbona nakwambia engine intact. Dude, you'll go to Girinyaga and buy an engine. Body.
But that Gary, who was saying it recently? I think it was Abuga.
William Abuga.
Yeah, that Gary is body. With the old folks, them it was
Gary engine. Yeah.
But I think it's because the kinds of cars they had
That was chuma
steel.
bit,
Yeah. I mean it's gari ya mabati tu.
Unapelekea welder.
Sasa hata kuna bumper ni
Pelekea
FRP.
Mosha ilime and the thing. And anyway, they didn't have the same kind of preferences, especially cosmetically, like we do.
Yeah.
So for them, bora inasonga.
That's what
It's A1.
matters.
But
Sahi.
in reality, right now, as you were saying, a headlight alone will be the cost of an entire engine.
Dude, and this is probably offshoot. I've just imported an Oscar for someone for an Audi B9. I think it's about 2019. Dude, that thing cost close to a mic. No scat, like abo tumbaele, 2 headlights, radiator, 1 mic.
On the Axela, so the headlight is around 110 to 130. So let's assume it's 130. So both headlights, that's
We can get to
60.
60 Gs.
The engine and gearbox is about 350.
So headlights and engine the same price.
I know. And then mtu akwambia ati gari ni engine. What do you mean gari ni engine?
So
My friend.
let me add salt. So there's a pal of mine who had a Touareg akaguza msee wa boda. Imports a headlight. In essence, a headlight inaingia ina fit kila plug ina fit.
But
Headlights
I want-
nataka coding.
Because it needs code.
Now for you to make it work, like I think with a coding to be I think 20-25 Gs. Now it didn't even work. I'll have Quran on safe mode. That one headlight. So we're like, dude, like headlight fake yake was spent like 180 Gs. And then coding another 30-40 Gs. These newer cars,
Better have a good body. Better have a good body.
because panels are cheap.
Yeah.
Right? You go to Kirinyaga Road, you get a panel.
But now lights,
Yes.
chassis, rust. You know.
Because even with, like normally, you'll find someone brings over a vehicle and it's got rust repair. It's going to cost you.
Yeah. Even
And
aligning
sometimes
panels.
it might
so
never even go.
difficult.
Yeah.
Aligning panels.
Jigging panels is a
Yeah.
nightmare. Just getting things
You
straight.
saw the
There's a guy, I like to look at his work. So typically, the way we build cars here, so you get bumped in the rear. So for most of us, you're like, you take it to your local mech, and for you, all you care about is that the bumper kind of looks okay. Yeah. But then you misaligned your frame.
yes.
What you fail to realize is now
your sensors for safety, which most of the times are actually
Is
fitted
when
on the
off,
corners,
yes.
now they're off. So in the event of an accident, your airbags will pop
Yeah.
because
The car doesn't know what's happening.
yeah, it doesn't figure out we're in an
Yeah.
accident. And just getting that realigned, dude, you will pay money.
Crazy.
You know, that's the the ADAS.
Yes.
The ADAS
it's
alignment.
basically the ADAS system.
You know, that kit peke yake for doing that thing is like almost 40 mic.
It's expensive getting
Yeah, just to align like everything, all the safeties. Yeah.
So yes, Gary is body. Anyone, but hey, you better buy a car with no engine, no
Yeah.
gearbox,
100% me.
but the body is straight.
Every day, all day.
Watch out, then the panels, you can buy panels and
Those you
just,
can buy. Yeah.
swap.
You've seen cars driving like this.
Gari nakanika inakuja kiendanga.
Bana, nika iko drift mode. Kwa hivi. You know, so I was actually having a chat with someone from Association of Kenya Insurers about this. Just on a very low level, like, dude, what are you guys doing? Because unaingia marketplace, like there's a whole business community of buying salvage cars, which 100%, I don't mind, but there are limits to salvages, right?
Yeah.
Maze, gari imelimwa. And I posted this, maze Subaru inakatwa katikati, waneka haga ya Subaru ingine. I'm like,
And the
And then
problem
the
is they're not
best-
doing it the right way.
yeah. And the best bit is, umse kwanza, hata akati hata grinder, anakata na shoka. Like literally.
Ile ya kugonga
Ile
gari.
anachukua kachuma alafu and then
Like
after hiyo
anakaa
yote,
mso wa butchery.
umse mazadi anatumia string kumesha like kutoka huko mbele. After hiyo yote anachoma na gas.
So he's warping the panels already.
Eh.
And you know, huku si kama UK, you know, kina Matamstrong, those guys actually
Because
do
panels
proper
zinatoka.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
panels
like-
zinatoka.
yeah.
You know, and it's every car has a place where you can cut.
Yes.
And there's a way you're supposed to wear it together so that you keep the integrity of the chassis. Because you see, with a lot of cars, they are what is known as a unibody chassis. The entire car is the chassis. So you cut apart, the entire thing is weak. So you'll think, see, we only cut over there, but it's strong because the whole thing
No,
works
but
together.
remember your engine and gearbox intact. Because you know Kenyans now buy KCDs. You want KDZ or whatever.
Yeah.
It was your KDZ, but at what cost?
What cost?
Dude, me I'd buy a 400k kilometer car every day hata kan KAA. Ukianza kunipa sijui gari au sijui body sijui ilifanya nini iliguzwa tu nyuma, me I'm out. I won't lie, I'm out. Because you know that's your kid inside there. Hiyo airbag msee ikatae tu kutoka. His head will be there. Because you're trying to save 100 G's.
yeah. Tasa, you've done many builds. Which was your favorite?
Hey, man, the Golf.
So VW versus BMW.
There are two ways to look at it.
You're going to Mars.
No,
You're going to Mars.
Actually, this is a yes/no question.
Yeah, you're going to Mars.
BMW versus.
You're going to Mars. You're not coming back.
No, but
Take a BMW or take a
Oh, by the
VW.
way, any, not on your bills, any, which is your mass car. Any car.
And let me make it any car. You're going to Mars forever.
You're not
Only
scanning.
car.
can I do like a Disco 3?
No, the point is any car. Just
Yeah, that's my Disco 3.
cost is not a problem.
Disco 3.
Disco 3. Okay.
The early SA Disco 3 then 57 is the 6-speed manual.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask. Your BMW builds. So you said you prefer the VW in terms of the build, in terms of building.
No, it was the one car that I actually enjoyed
Enjoyed
the
it.
whole process.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest were horrible.
I wouldn't say horrible. So here's the difference, right? When I finished building the VW, I drove it almost immediately. Like
It just worked.
Moyale, everything worked.
So you liked it more for the.
No, because at least
personal
you'd enjoy your
reports.
money. Yeah.
He liked it because it worked. Like it was.
Here's the thing. Here's the
worked
funny
properly.
thing, by the way. I think that engine came into my house at 4 p.m. By 7:30, nilienda nayo kwa kiosk. Like engine will drop you at 4:30. Mounted that shit, coded everything. I was on the kiosk nayo. It didn't even have a
Wenda
radiator.
kununua maziwa.
It didn't even have a radiator.
Atengeneza shopping cart.
And the problem with that build was, ideally ilikuwa engine ikam, you know, teething nini kitambo. By the time teething inaanza kuisha, salo imeingia, dunga like another 70, 100 G's hapo ndani. Na kusho ili start hivi na nikadrive na ikarudi. That next day wife, nipe pesa man. Nipe pesa ninunue exhaust. Yeah, but I had
Do you
like,
have advice for? How do I say this?
young married men who do bills.
who need money for building cars.
No, the trick about building cars kwanza ni ishi kwa on compound. Like yeah, hata hainanga dance. The reason is when you're building a car, 9 out of 10 times you have your friends over, yeah? And inafika 6 kuna za kunyesha, you need to leave things outside, you need to cover your car, things to do safety. And then it's also cheap, because imagine if I was building a car and garage yangu iko seme Karen. I have to drive like 25 kilometers one way to do one thing, go back. And then obviously I don't want to waste my friend's space because of something that will take like 6 months. You get? So it's more of just being an adult about the build itself. If you build it in your house, dude, you get like 2K. Put a 2K part and then you funika it. Get 3K. But hii space ikiwa kwa besta yako, you're wasting like 5K every day because hii need like 4 feet zenye zingekuja service. You get? But now if it's in your house, things are different. You can, dude, you wake up at night, umeingia Reddit, you get like, kumbe hii module ifanyi juu ya hii, wena kompi yako hivi saa 6 usiku. Naambia tu wife.
So hapo basically unaambia kina Mato na kina sijui nani you live on apartments.
The problem with apartment is there's always a kid with sticky fingers, yeah? Atakuja achukue spana yako aishie. Or achukue key, he keys your car.
Watoto wa majirani machokosh. Ama tuko kwa drainage.
Even in our estate sahi, there's a kid who goes with those tumawes and nini andika their name.
Daddy, I love you.
Hey, anaandika jina yake maze kwa gari ya mse. All of a sudden you have a 50K bill. Because, you know.
Because of your neighbor's kids.
But me kwangu, and I live like in a pretty decent, safe place. Like, mina kusho, it starts to rain, hata tujivunji, nacha tu kila kitu hapo. There's a time I left my battery outside
the gate.
But I think there's a time I left like stuff outside my phone, the small Bluetooth speaker. Nilipata tu uchi ameka ndani na kafunika gari. I think it was raining and I was outside. So small things kama hizo. But I'm not wasting anyone's space. I'm also trying to be
Using your own space.
So basically you're saying there are limitations to being
Yes,
able to
yes,
keep doing what you do.
Because, you know, if you budget a bill for 100 Gs, it'll probably be 300 Gs.
Yeah.
And
that always happens.
yes. And hata atakwambia when he's building his car, and he bought a running car. Gari yake like ni A1, you want better rims, unaziimport. Kidogo kiara nakwambia lazima ulipe tax. That was not there. You need like an extra 40 Gs. You bring your mounts, usawako wa boda sijui aliingia miti.
High mounts.
You know, there's always something that will come. Utaweka part, gari ikatae. You need to bring in, you get.
Yeah, it happens.
So you need to be efficient, especially with your money. But kama build, and a lot of people, you know, wanaona kwa TL, Alex ameunda gari na 500K. I might be lucky, you know. Mi nilikuwa like,
They don't know how it got there.
Yeah.
kama wambia wase, 9 out of these bills, I don't pay out of pocket. Yes, I might pay 100 Gs, but kesho ndapata gig. Or nda trade a parts or something. Like, I'll probably spend on 5% of my money in a build. Like, when I bought my engine, I think I bought it for 167K. Engine, gearbox, suspension, na coils.
For the
BW.
Oh, for the BWA.
167K in my hands plus shipping na hizo stuff sold. But in that order, nilikuwa imechea also 4 engines for other people. So nikiunda 20K pale, 20K, basically with the engine 100K. You get?
Anyway.
So, Golf or BMW?
You said golf.
No. Let me explain.
Wait.
It's not. It can't be a yes, no. Yes, no, maze. It's
Not
so.
golf versus BMW. Golf versus E36. I'm a VW.
We are going together. I just want. So let's start here. Golf, BMW.
So I'll be very honest. Golfs are very fast cars, but kidogo emotion. You'll just be faster than everyone on the road.
Faster than what?
Technically, everyone, if you want.
Mark X.
Of course.
I dude, like.
Ab-
Hawa kimzana mastalia tu kuna mademi ya diesel bwana. Like,
Mark X guys, there you have it.
There you have it, huh?
it's more. Dude, Mark X is like 1.5 tons on a very lazy to GR.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
golf
gearing.
versus BMW.
Let me explain.
No.
Just say. Just put it out.
You've owned a couple of BMWs.
You've owned also VWs.
Here's the thing. Acha ni answer. No, sikia.
Dude is a politician. Hakuna
Sikia
time
kala
hata ya
singa.
kujibu.
No, let me answer. If you don't drive a BMW in a year, you'll know you've not driven a BMW in a year. Like, you'll miss it.
So BMW.
So BMW.
Sijamza kujibu bwana. Ni watu. But if you drive a Golf, other than being fast, kuna ka emotion na kako. Like, basically, the BMW is just a glorified corners. Like, maze, BMW at 80 kph unajinais car stupid. Like, you go into corners at You're just having fun. It's just that for me, I think I did it wrongly.
So pick.
I can't pick because hata haiko kwa hizo zote.
You have to
Disco
pick.
3.
It's gun to your head. So you are picking.
You're picking.
VW, BMW. You're picking.
In my current financial situation, VW. Dude, my money opens up B58 in the morning. And I won't lie.
On which platform? Which chassis?
Where are you running the B58?
Probably on an E90.
E90.
Yes.
The worst 3 Series ever.
Yes.
Very well.
Like,
Since
what
you've
I can do
decided-
is-
Since he's decided to go BMW,
Yeah.
rank your favorite top 5 BMWs from the best, no, from the worst to the best.
No, like just generally or no, but those are so many BMWs.
His favorite.
So
5.
E30.
E30 is number 1.
Yes. Because they were two door. I don't even want much. I just want that door that gets up to here. And when your seatbelt seal. Like,
Naitwa huku nyuma.
yeah,
Aya.
man.
That's number 1. Second
But
best.
probably not with a BMW engine in that E30.
1JZ.
So what's
No.
that now?
K24.
K24.
Why K24? I mean, you have
Because
the option of
8,000 RPM.
but you have the option of a K20.
But K24, why not just go big at once?
Yeah. They're not the same in there.
And then the K24 on an E36 is mid-engine, like literally mid-engine, is nyuma ya the steering rack.
Kwa E30 rather.
Yes, hata kwa E36.
Yeah.
Dude, the K24 Loshanas like this, literally like this. That thing makes power for days.
Twende, second best BMW.
E36 M3 probably a two-door. I've never driven one, but I drove an E36 two-door. I want one.
Yeah. Third best BMW.
X5M, kama ya ile ujamu wa
Sarune,
Chapati za
Sarune.
570. Yeah.
That's it's called the what series? F what?
Maybe I don't know. I think
Yeah.
F80, F83. I don't know.
remember the series. Yeah. Fourth.
202.
The
2002. 2002.
Yes.
That old BMW.
Yes. With
No, it's-
like big
it's
road
like-
lights.
But
Right?
yeah.
That's among the most beautiful cars ever
But
made.
it's absolutely
Again with a
beautiful.
K24.
Yeah. Fifth best. BMW. Last one.
Very tricky. Actually, you remember I said I was saving for a car? There was a BMW 118D Shadow Edition.
I want it. Guy.
No,
That's how we
listen.
You finished. Tumalize.
You know why? Okay, that specific one, that car is proper. If I get like a 135, even better with a 4-wheel.
you had
No,
everything
135
else.
is rear wheel.
No, I know. No, kuna now I think 140 some. One of them is 4-wheel. I don't know.
They were M140.
M140 X-Drive.
Yes, that one. No, the one I wanted to buy was the 118D, just because of M47. So I wanted to do a B47 on it. Like hiyo gari ningenua na engine ingine na kam kesho.
The 202.
No, it's because I can't afford the
Like,
135.
His lefts, M5s.
M2s, M3s, M4s. Like his left.
No,
BMW. I want you from where?
No. Here's the thing. I'm an honest man. Me don't get to never afford. Dude, if I could afford like kina M4, kina competition, kina CS, sawa. But saying I'm not there.
So if you could afford any of them, which one are you?
Dude, hadi mwisho.
Which one?
M3 CS kwanza.
Yeah.
I don't know the series.
Yeah.
I just need a competition somewhere.
Huyo najua magari mzee. Tuanze hapo.
Zenye hazitaisha.
See, here's the thing you guys are not getting. Like, for me, cars is, I want something that I can read on and you're like, okay, I can actually build this. So normally, I just switch off my mind to, in 8M, I can't afford that now. Probably I need financing in any. It's still outside where I can like
Your
where my
comfort
money
zone.
is, yes. But dude, this small 2 mic, 3 mic cars that you can build, it should be 58 kesho build, that is how. So, hata nikiwatchingi YouTube, sijui M4, sijui nini, probably just for 5 minutes. But niambie msa meka K24 kwa
Pressure
E30s.
macho.
Ana mbao.
Baya. You know, because here's the thing, right? If for the right amount of money and small tech skills, you can still make the same amount of them 3 minus the comps.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, right? And nikifungukiwa
If you
vile-
actually get to finish the project.
yeah, if dude sasa kinfinya domi golf mimi naachilia. Like these things are just metal.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, these things come and go. So msali achilia golf yake.
There's one thing which I really like about how he does his stuff.
Yeah.
Ananga emotions na magari.
And he doesn't give a shit.
Hii ndio iko. Wewe uko na pesa.
Here's the thing. You put in 300 Gs, someone offers you 700 Gs. There's 400 Gs minus the amount of man hours you did not put in there. And unaingia tu
It's a
mavichorochoro.
really interesting build. Because if you remember, even when we had Mateus, so Mateus was saying, for him, selling a build is really difficult because he's put in the time, he's put in the passion and everything. So he's unable to price his cars because he doesn't know even what to do with them.
Yes.
And then you have this other guy called Alex Mwanzo. It's like, well, let that ile pesa uko nayo.
But
Kaende sana.
think of it this way. I know Mateo
You're like
setup.
the alter ego.
Yeah. Okay, so number one, like the one thing kwa nini Mateo says actually gari. Number one is among the most rare patrols you can ever get, the short wheelbase.
What sort of patrol? Even the FJ.
Even the FJ. No, I get
And
that.
FJs are there.
They are Mercador. And he's put like proper money on it. Like you can't justify. The problem...
FJ. I don't think so. The FJ by
Dude,
the way was a rather...
Those tough dog
I'm not
suspensions are expensive.
Yeah, apart from the tough dog, everything else was I mean, it's a 1KZ engine. It is unpainted. There's nothing else is done on that.
Say, ukishatoa hizo miguu peke yake hapo ni 500 Gs. Na wezi justify.
So unauzanga unatoa
Hizo
miguu unasema acha nibaki na miguu.
Ukiweka hizo
nauza engine.
fundamentals, those are a lot
You know
of
that's the
money.
problem with you. You will be like, oh, fundamentals are expensive. Utatoa uziache nyumbani usell
Mi
everything.
takupea rims zingine but
But you see
this
now
thing-
he can't do that. Him is like, this thing is so nice.
Now, if you have unquenchable money, if you have money, you can't sell. But for most of us, for your next car will probably be financed by your previous car. So if I want to buy something else sahi, something has to go. Ama niende niongeleshe KCB, which, is another 30, 40, 100 Gs a month. Probably affordable, probably not.
Yeah.
But if I can relinquish this, because also in realistically, you can't do two bills at the same time.
Would you buy a complete car? I mean, apart from a picnic table, but a car that, is...
The problem is ni gari gani
Like
itanipa-
Kavle, he had a Mark 7. When the two same, I mean, hii ina work, iko sawa, nimenunua hii.
Shida ya kubengi complete cars ni unabaya complete car, kesho inge ready, tuna notice kumbe ile engine inaingianga hapa, then you start talking about it and then unaingia rabbit hole.
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem.
No, but
Kama sema by Honda CRV, unasikia sana pepea nini? Sijui ni kuweka sijui ni K24.
K24.
no, the CRV actually I've bought it for one reason only. I've always been talking about going to Namibia. I couldn't go with the Prado because fuel is just there. I just can't afford it and I won't lie.
Na hiyo kiharibu shock unanunua the next stop. They are jack cheap.
Hii inaweza shikanisha na kila kitu and the B20 is reliable.
Tunaenda na wewe hiyo Namibia. Yeah.
Hiyo dude, that one alima full tank.
Nitakubebea engine na nini ingine.
And full tank for that car is like 7 Gs. And it's proper all-wheel drive.
There's a 40-liter tank.
Like, it's a proper car.
It's a proper car, baby. These cars are nice.
Well, bushes are shit and they're 100K, but they're proper.
Yeah.
Save for that, nothing else will probably break.
Yeah.
Hiyo gari by the way nilio sight and seen. Ule mse wa Twitter mwana posting 100 Gs. Hii gari iko ngapi? Nikamtumia do.
He's called Derek Uduni.
Yeah.
Kafanki.
Yeah.
Me I just sent him money like, yo, does it run? Yes. Unaweza transfer hii ya logbook kesho? Yes.
Send it.
Kamtumia do. Alileta kwa hao.
Yeah. That guy's down here. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's sold the Starlet, got money, bought this, have quite a bit of money, fix it up kidogo, save another maybe 1 month, look for a few guys, probably look for sponsors, Namibia.
So what do you tell the guy who wants to build?
If you want to build that, there are different ways to look at it. What exactly do you want to achieve? Right? So the first thing goes on for understand kuhusu build is the types of builds. There's someone who will build a shocker. Aende Sunset GT, Easy Motorsport Africa, all these events. Look nice, look pretty. Kuna mse pia ta build for drive. Yeye anataka gari reliable, aende place anataka. Hakuna mse atataka kubuild performance. So what exactly do you want into these 3 segments? 9 out of 10 times you can't achieve both. You can't have like a super clean car, also super reliable. Like you'll need to put in a lot of money, especially if you're doing it yourself. Right? And nowadays, hata motorsport ni mob, kuna drift, kuna draggies, kuna this other one, 8th mile, quarter mile, all those things. So you even build for many things. But ujue hapo na it's a money game. Msada ikatabo, 1M na uende home. And you'll probably not win, but it's good to do. So you just bring it because you like it, not because you'll win.
Yeah.
Right?
And
And-
for the satisfaction and fulfillment.
And there's a point.
So whatever it is,
Just
at the end of the day,
if you're doing it for yourself, especially to upskill, hapo ndio place mimi naonanga ukweli iko.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it because you actually like it.
Yeah.
And
Not for the people.
yeah, and dude, we're having this conversation because I built a car, he built a car, you're doing something in cars, you're probably building a car, and the community that comes with it. That community you are bottomless because you learn so much from people. And that's how people make friends because there are times in my house I think I had like 17 guys. I didn't call like me, my other starter guys. Hizo by lunch ward. But kuna butchery iko nje.
Yeah.
Tunaweza enda.
Yeah.
But guys who just come, wamekuja maziwa, wamekuja na drinks, wamekuja na fruits. We're just chilling, we're just vibing. Kiasi tunafaa kuinua engine. For me that's a perfect weekend. Mkuje tunde gari kila mtu aende home. Ukitaka hata kama unataka maybe hadi ukiwa na bill, wewe tuite tutakam.
Hey, there's so much talk, but hey, Alex, it's been really nice having you.
Karibu sana.
Hey, it's spirit of community. Yeah. The one guy who never finishes his projects, but everyone is so happy to always see him start.
Yeah.
I think he keeps us hooked on the whole. Maybe one day we'll see a complete project.
Mwanzo. Mkiomoka.
We'll say, yeah. Sad. I say thank you so much for coming.
Most welcome. Happy to be here as always.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've
Gearhaus.
been your host, Vanilla.
And I'm Kalasinga. And you guys, please subscribe.
Yes, please.
Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep
Share
commenting,
these.
share our videos.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends about us,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Actually, one of these days we'll be picking them. Like those. If you have a question, comment. We'll be picking it up.
yeah. In fact,
And
we've actually been noting the people you want to come as guests.
yes, by the way.
And you're lining them up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually a thing which we are considering. So all those guys, keep them saying, suggest all the guys you want as
Yeah.
guests. And we'll definitely have on
Now,
the show.
jamaa
Who do you want
atarudi.
to see on the show? Who finishes gas?
Si lazima panamaliza gari. Who do you want to see in the show?
Jere.
Jere.
Yes.
I love that guy.
Haya. He's a very chini ya maji guy.
I know you sneaky mkeza mget, eh?
But anyway, pia baadaye on the comments, watu wamemuulizia.
Yeah, so
Jere, since
El Gapo.
we know you
Actually,
watched
there's
it.
3 guys that I'd like. There's a guy in Nakuru called the Mac 101. You might probably see his work.
I've seen
Yes.
his handle somewhere.
He built, that Benz on a patrol chassis. Yeah, that's
the
him.
lifted bed.
That guy is just mad in the head. And the other one there's a guy called Reed who builds Rift Valley Rovers. Some nice Mzungu guy. He builds like 10 million shillings cars of scraps. But yeah, nice to introduce to Ada. But they're proper guys.
Patie number.
Will do.
Thank you guys. Bye.